Let's jump on over now to Ronaldo Hose, who is talking about the CweCwe situation and those who are going to be sued by AfriForum and the teacher. Let's hear about that. Some time back, I did say that, hey, be cautious there. There's some people who are pointing fingers at that man, and there doesn't seem to be evidence about him. And so people went on, and now the lawsuits are following.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Ronaldo here. So this video is going to focus on Bergview College Principal Jacob Pieterse. Now if that name sounds familiar, it's because Jacob Pieterse was falsely accused by the SAPS of being a suspect in the rape investigation of a pupil in that school. And it took the SAPS about 5 to 6 days to rectify the statement, but in that time, various social media commentators and politicians jumped on board and accused Jacob Pieterse without any evidence that he was a rapist and a pedophile. And the full video you can see over here if you want to get more context, and then once you watch the video you can come back here. Otherwise, if you know the story, then what in essence is happening now is Jacob Pieterse has decided to lay criminal charges against the ANC's Secretary General Fikile and Mbalula and against the EFF leader Julius Malema, as well as a civil claim against Pumzile van Dam, the former Member of Parliament for the Democratic Alliance. So the lawyer has come out and released a statement, and let's have a listen to what he had to say.
Falsely being accused of having committed this crime against a child.
That's Barry Bateman, right?
Is devastating. So it's on that basis that these charges are going to be pursued. I mean, I'll just give an example as well. Mr. Mbalula referred to Mr. Pieterse as an animal. And how would AfriForum be defending an animal who rapes children? This is simply unacceptable. There must be consequences for people who falsely accuse others in the public domain. And social media has been a particular difficulty or a problem in this regard, in that these false allegations have been repeated unquestionably. And Mr. Pieterse, it has uprooted his entire life and has pretty much brought an end to his career as a teacher, something he's dedicated his life to.
What are we hoping for here when it comes to the outcome of the case?
Criminal convictions. The people who made these false allegations and these false claims must be convicted and face the criminal consequences thereof. And if that involves a custodial sentence, going to jail, that would be preferable. Politicians who have great public platforms and can speak to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, should go to jail if they're going to lie about people. A fine is the alternative, but we say criminally convict them and send them to jail.
And lastly, Barry, are you looking at, after this criminal process, looking at lawsuits civilly against the 3 politicians that you intend to open cases against today?
Civil damages claims are going to follow. AfriForum, as the organisation, will be assisting Mr. Pieterse with that, but also the organisation itself. Allegations of false claims were made against the organisation that we were protecting a rapist, which are entirely false. We'll be pursuing those civil claims against not only these 3 individuals, but Pumzile van Dam as well, who claims to be a disinformation expert, yet has been one of the biggest drivers of the disinformation campaign against Mr. Pieterse.
Yeah.
Was he fired? What happened?
He's still the principal of the school, but it's created a very difficult position for him. He's, of course, he hasn't been reporting back to the school as yet, but he remains the principal.
What is the status of the college? I know it's
Yeah, I can't actually speak for the school, but schooling has resumed. This has been one of the most difficult periods of his life. He's had to leave his home. He's had his family threatened. His own daughter was contacted on Instagram and threatened with being raped if her father doesn't go and submit his DNA samples. His entire life has been turned upside down. Despite that, the support that we've been providing him, he's encouraged by it. Being here today, of course, it's a very strange environment. We operate in this environment dealing in the criminal justice system. It's a strange place for him, but he's encouraged and he's confident that getting the support and ensuring accountability, that's very important for him. He's a man of principle, and he believes that those people who make false allegations should face the music.
Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. They should face the music, because the time of labeling people as rapists, racists, and there's nothing that happens when they are falsely accusing these people and ruining their reputations. Now it's the time to pay. And it's going to be interesting because we know that none of the 3 have apologized for accusing Jacob Pieterse of being a rapist, a pedophile, and also Pumzile van Dam that doubled down. An example of this is just, here she is saying, wait, I need to get this right. This man allegedly raped a 7-year-old. He's an alleged pedophile. He refused to give sample, which would have eliminated him. And AfriForum is defending him because screw the pedophile, he is white. That's some low-down dirty shit. This is what's wrong with the woke left, but specifically with Pumzile van Dam.
Hold up. You see what's happening here? I'm noting that AfriForum is targeting the black people who spoke on this. Is it the EFF? That's a black party. And Pumzile van Dam. When this broke off, that's what I will have lined up in this video and this one as well. This woman, I've tried to search for the initial video that she dropped. She's the one who pointed everybody to a white principal. And she even spoke of the AfriForum defending this white teacher because he's white and questioning why. So if they really want to put someone down, why are they leaving this woman over here? And she's not the only one. I'm going to play one other white one over here from this video where I showed a number of people who were involved in all of this. Hey, sorry I burped on the mic, man. I hope to somehow later find these burps and turn them off. But if they remain in the video and I'm just too lazy, excuse me. Excuse my manners. So, we're going to continue listening to Ronaldo host, but that's my question. This white woman, the sources, and not only the source of the rumors, these are people who have been pointing people towards a petition where money should be put in. There was also a card, Capitec, with bank details, CweCwe's mother asking for people to put money in her account. One of the people that I was covering during this time about this issue was Summer Sambit, this guy over here, as you can see him. Summer Sambit had made a video as well. Seemed like it's a group of women and homosexuals. Yeah, seems like the woke left, as Ronaldo host wants to put it over there, but it's the woke left, including some white people, and they appear to be the source of the rumors. But we don't know why they are not being prosecuted. Let's find out a bit more here.
Goes allegedly, but then she then breaks the allegedly part and now accuses AfriForum of defending a white pedophile. And then once the information came out, because somebody asked Mbalula anything to say, that was of course after it was now the SAPS cleared him and said that they never should have mentioned him. Instead of apologizing, this is what she said: "I'll serve crack before I serve AfriForum with an apology. Sock puppet. Valiant effort though. Go back and tell the network of other sock puppet accounts I said no, and they can tweet me until their fingers bleed. 0 Fs given about AfriForum or its supporters. Hugs and kisses." Now, besides being, of course, a very unstable person, somebody that continuously lashes out at people with this ego and this narcissistic behavior, the fact that she doubled down and said AfriForum should try their best, now they are coming after her. And now, unlike anywhere previously with her where there was no pushback, even after the alleged assault that took place at the V&A waterfront, in which she said that she was racially abused and then she laid hands on a youngster and punched him, now suddenly there's finally some pushback. Because nothing happened back in the day. The videos magically never saw the light of day. And eventually she dropped the case. There were no further information. So as valiantly as she fought back then, at the V&A waterfront against phantom racism, now it's the same thing. But this time, AfriForum is taking no prisoners, as you can see there. So there is a criminal case against Julius Malema and against Secretary General Fikile and Mbalula of the ANC, and then a civil claim against Mbalula Van Dam. And we'll see if this arrogance...
So 3 black people
of these individuals that can't apologize for a clear-cut, wrongful accusation being made once the SAPS finally came out and said, listen, the information wasn't right. The least that you can do is apologize. But, once again, communists and socialists and the woke left can't seem to know how to apologize. The same thing recently with the refugees that has now been accused of not being looked after by the United States. A video from this no-name person on TikTok, and then...
So, we dealt with that earlier, yeah? He's referring to that woman from Colonel Chris White's video. So there's some white people over here. He's calling them to account for something, for some apologies, or he's calling them out simply to bring attention to them. But he's not bringing suit, damages, claims, criminal charges towards those. So there's leniency for these white radicals, if you watch properly. And then there's hard slapping for the black ones.
And Varashni Pillay and that prosy from Sunnyside have made a big splash about it. And now that they are proven wrong, they can't apologize. I'm not sure why within the woke and the communists and the socialists, it's impossible to say sorry. It's really not hard. If you are proven wrong, just apologize. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. But for some reason, it's not that they not only don't provide an apology, they double down, even though everybody knows what they said were wrong. But yet, here we are. So, well done to AfriForum. Take them to court. Take them for all they're worth. And the reason for that is not because they made a mistake, but it's because they doubled down after they knew when they were wrong. And then they didn't care about this person's reputation. They didn't care about AfriForum's reputation. They didn't care about the actual scholar that was raped. They only care about themselves and acting like the saviors. And it's insane. So well done to AfriForum for taking this further. May justice prevail. May CweCwe get the justice that he deserves, as well as AfriForum. And good luck to Mbalula Van Dam to Julius Malema, and to Fikile and Mbalula. You are going to need it. And that's
Okay, so let's quickly jump into back when I covered this issue over here. That's CweCwe's mother giving a short account of what has happened. It was a long account, but we'll jump through to the portion where she's just finishing, and then there's someone else, two other people at the start of this who pointed the finger at the principal.
Send my child to go and conduct the chores, because I never send my child to go and do the chores at school. I'm still waiting for it up until today, because the meeting was set to be there.
For the case of CweCwe, other than making a video about it and spreading awareness about it and asking you guys to please sign the petition. But a petition is not enough. Give me a second. Sorry, my baby's come first. But seriously, I have fought the...
Okay, so now there's a pretty white girl and she's also promoting the petition. And that may be yet another video clipped onto this one. You all saw there was no coherent story. That is not a cogent video from start to finish. Cuts, we don't know what's missing. It's best to go and listen to the mother yourself on that 900K view episode. But let's finish watching this. This may help us track where all of this stuff came from and the people who immediately started fundraising and sending people to a website, to a wallet to go and put their money in. Where did that money go? And can that money circle around and get back in the hands of these influencers, the Summer Sambits? This may be organized crime.
I have fought these type of battles in the past, and I'm not going to get emotional, but I'm telling you,
And while I'm here, of course, I've expressed my skepticism from the beginning. I've suggested that this could have been something ritual. There's word from the minister and the medical people saying that this may have happened multiple times. There's confirmation that indeed a rape has occurred, and possibly several times. So it may not be a lie and a scam from the parents. There may be another group that has decided to create the petition all by themselves, some money out of the situation. Or this could have happened in the family and people on the side could have created a petition themselves. Or this could have happened in the family and the family put out the petition. I haven't heard the mother saying, sign the petition or whatever. Some other people have been doing that on her behalf. So she's seeming distant from the cash collection. Certain people have done the fundraising on her behalf. I'm not finding her directly saying, this has happened to me, give me money. That was going to look immediately suspicious and problematic, given that the family is being suspected of this now. So let's finish this off.
I don't know. I know there's a back of my body. I can give money, but that's not the point. I want to see if I can maybe, be directed to the mom. Even if that means I have to freaking stand outside Parliament or the Department of Education. I don't care. But this is not just for her. Obviously, we are focusing on her and we are going to ensure that justice be done. But this is for so many kids that have fallen through the cracks. So many kids that I have had to cancel in the past because things were not done correctly or, didn't have the guts to speak out when it happened. So please, I'm asking you guys very kindly, like anything, please. Even if that is for me just to use this platform, but I just feel like that in itself is not enough. Education is my passion. Fighting for young women is my passion. And
Sorry, I was wondering where that sound is coming from.
And I really want to see her shine again. I want to see her parents feel like they can wake up and breathe again. I think of my two daughters, and I think if this happened to them or any other child, whether that is a son, what would we do? What would you do?
But when guys what we will not do is sit back and watch your family CweCwe herself not getting the justice she deserves. That is what we will not do.
So we've got another woman now. Are these the influencers? This is looking very interesting. If you watched the video up until now, thank you very much. You're recognizing the value of these videos. And pause right there. So you're getting the picture. There's that first white lady and there's this one. Why did the clip just reset itself? Okay, what we are intending to watch here, let me just maximize the window, is this video where she's promoting a shutdown. Let's check this out.
I wish that everybody would keep their kids out of school until the Department of Education has responded to Justice for SA's email. I want everybody to like and share it, please, so we can get this information out. We've just come to light 16,000 teachers have criminal cases against them that's teaching our children in all schools, rural schools, township schools, suburban schools. No kids are safe. 269 rape cases from April to November 2024 in schools. The 8th of April, we are planning another shutdown, a national shutdown.
You hear that? So she's talking here about teachers And the video where she blamed the teacher direct, I couldn't find that. She must have deleted that. But you can see that this is a follow-up, and she has been leading this, receiving or collecting these stats and making these videos. This is the woman who led a serious charge and organized the protests that suddenly sprang up. And let's just continue. You're going to see a bit more about this ability that some people have to really make certain things trend and make people get on the streets and really come and bring their agenda to the front in such an undeniable way.
Shutdown. 9 provinces. Please like and share. National shutdown, the 8th of April. 9 provinces. Details to follow. Please follow Justice for SA. I have tagged them in this post. Please go look at the link in the bio. Join the WhatsApp groups and get into these groups talking about what Justice for SA is trying to do to help our kids. It is so important. I want everybody to get on this. We can only do this if we work together collectively. We need to get back on the ground and demand schools to shut down until the Department of Education makes it safe for our children. I wish that everybody would keep their kids out of school.
So, we're now done with that video. And so let's just check out this next one. It's her, again, I believe. And this time, as Ronaldo calls her a radical lefty, she seems to be on the side of black people and black causes and creating shutdowns like the EFF in a strange way. But the fact that she's not being called to be sued leads me to an initial suspicion that I had, I had this suspicion that says, some people are so organized and so powerful that they can create a rumor knowing that trendy social media and influencers and creators like to hop onto something hot and new. And this woman, how she initially came out, she really was riling up the black people and seeming to go against the AfriForum and this white teacher. And in a way that seems to be calling for black people to be angry and talk about this issue. And now that people have reacted and joined this issue, she has deleted her video and people are getting sued. I mean, is it possible to trap people by creating alarm and outrage, getting them to respond and suing them in a predictable kind of way? Is it possible to do that? Let's listen to this woman as she acts like a lefty, as Ronaldo says. Now here she's talking about the Amerikaners that we spoke about earlier. She's doing a comedic video.
Hi guys, I'm a South African living in Canada, and this is really for Americans. I want to thank you Americans for accepting Afrikaner refugees on US soil. And I want to teach you a few things to make Afrikaner refugees feel good about being in the US and being accepted by you. First, let's start with basics like a greeting. Whenever you come across a South African and you want to say welcome to the
Is she the same woman? Is she the same woman, this one? Let's continue.
US, you say voetsak. Voetsak. Say after me, voetsak. This really means that this gives them a warm welcome. And then if you see Afrikaner refugees contributing to society, and I know some of them might complain, but please remember they come from a really, really difficult place. But when you are in favor of something that they do, you can say "Yo masapus."
Hey.
I would say it again, "Yo masapus."
Sure.
It will make them feel so welcome and so wanted. Please follow me for more tips on how to help Afrikaner refugees settle in your beautiful country, United States.
There. So this woman seems to be stoking up the hatred between white people and black people, or the hatred of black people towards whites in a strange way, in a very strange way. What is her opposition to white people? Is she virtue signaling? Is this performative black activism? Is this actually real? So we've watched that. So now let's catch a piece here from PBD. There's an interview here where these guys are talking about protests and the way that they can actually be organized by billionaires from faraway places. Social media, since what we saw, I think in the Arab Spring. Remember when there were suddenly eruptions of people overthrowing their government? Was it Yemen? and followed by another one. And it was all said to be because of the presence of Twitter and people being able to mobilize much quicker and much better, but not that people were actually keenly interested from their hearts to mobilize. There was a platform, a resources, media that just grouped people and excited them much more. And so let's listen to how that comes about and who does that.
Have you seen the Chris Cuomo clip?
Okay, a bunch of
let's
clips from Chris
show the Chris. Do you know which clip I'm talking about, Rob? Or no?
I don't, but I'll look. Funded by China?
There is a the whole.
Who's funding this protest?
I have it, Rob. I'm going to text it to you. The whole who's funding the protest clip. This one right here. It's a very, very. Is this the one, Rob?
Is this where he says? Here, I'll just grab the one you sent.
Yeah, just show the one I sent you because it shows, what's going on with who's funding it and what their reasoning is and the division. It's very interesting, his take here. Go ahead. Watch this here. This is Cuomo, Vinny's best friend.
Fed by dark sources with a desire for our destruction. One of the main players in organizing and funding the Los Angeles protests is a group called CHIRLA, CHIRLA, acronym, Coalition for Humane Immigration Rights. They have received millions in government grants and state grants, but now reports are showing that there may be a foreign link, specifically from China, funding and organizing these protests. The pro-Chinese far-left Party for Socialism and Liberation. They're known as the PSL.
Socialism, communism, see, the right and the Ronaldos are all standing against some that they say they're perceiving to be a threat, an enemy. Organized protests by people far away to keep the world spinning. Apparently, we are not spinning because we are all spinning. We're not going crazy because we're all collectively, unanimously becoming crazy. No, the same way that people were able to be made to erupt, even now, the right-wingers say that there's somebody who is making the leftists crazy and making them, the right-wingers, unable to see eye to eye with the others. And of course, there are right-wing zealots as well, who take positions and stances that the left cannot see eye to eye with. And so it seems like on both sides, there are strong men who are making sure that the world does not align. Men and women do not align. Blacks and whites do not align. The left and the right. Outside of our racial identities, there's now ideological splits, chasms, where we can never meet, and says that is all manufactured. The world would be more peaceful, perhaps in these days, if there were no such intentional planned activities happening to rile up humanity. Maybe people would be going, sitting at a park and actually relaxing. Would we be more relaxed people? Would we be chilled? Would we be happy? I don't know.
Or working with CHIRLA, helping fund the protests in Los Angeles and maybe elsewhere. Remember, all the parties in China are controlled by the CCP. So this is China. And the party is pushing to destroy capitalism and the West. This is its agenda. This is what China wants. They even have a term for the effort. It's called the smokeless war, where they have this theory of how they'll destroy the West without actually taking to the battlefield. That's what they did during the anti-Israel campus protests. The PSL worked hand in glove with anti-Zionist student groups and helped organize and fund the Columbia campus encampments. Now it gets scarier. Where does the PSL get its money? Enter Shanghai-based socialist billionaire Neville Singham. 2017, he sold his tech company for about $1 billion. Reports show the same year he started funding far-left groups like the PSL to the tune of millions. Singham is not America's friend. He has deep business ties to the CCP, but also has strong ideological ties to communism, period. People who worked for him says he's an admirer of Mao, Che Guevara, Hugo Chavez, not friends of American culture. According to the New York Times, Singham has funded and developed a deep global empire of pro-China nonprofits in the media and grassroots political space, steering millions into these groups over the years, including the PSL. And guess who was associated with the PSL and other Singham-funded groups? Elias Rodriguez. Ring a bell? This scumbag, the 30-year-old Chicago man who murdered 2 Israeli staffers in cold blood last month, to make a political.
I mean, Chris is sounding a lot like how we were with China.
You hear that? So there's more mention there about George Soros from this clip. He's actually in the thumbnail. In South Africa, it is being rumored that there's a billionaire by the name of George Soros who is funding the opposition of the right, creating a left if there isn't one, making sure there's constantly a left against the right. And seems George Soros is interested in funding the LGBTQ people, interested in funding communism, apparently, just like that Chinese. Is that an Indian billionaire? That guy didn't look Chinese, but is he rich in China? And he's next to the Chinese Communist Party and these organizations that are funding violence on the streets in the United States. Would the people in the United States themselves rise if it was not for outside funding? Would the protests for CweCwe have been so big without an organizer? Are people so concerned, so angry? Or is this because there's a TikTok that was able to make things trendy and there was a TikTok to communicate to people to get onto the streets? Because those people who cared so much for CweCwe don't seem to be as active anymore. When the organizer keeps quiet, the people keep quiet because an army moves on its stomach. People need to eat. So people don't just go protest and have no water and no food on the day. Those placards come from somebody who paid some money. There was a graphic designer who created the logo, and there was a print shop that they printed at, and those placards were shipped and distributed from a van or a car, which had petrol from somewhere. And probably at the end of the march, people had small snacks to eat, maybe. And so where's the money for all of that coming from? So, okay, we now move on to, I think this is a story that happened quite earlier regarding the EFF. And they are asked to remove Justice for CweCwe placards in Parliament. Let's see what that was about, because I was looking for the EFF saying that they will be pursuing private prosecution of the teacher. So it seems like there's a fire back and forth of prosecuting one another. Maybe the AfriForum is responding because the EFF said that they are going to put that man in the spotlight, finger him, despite there being no evidence. Let's see what that's about, because clearly the white people who started this and organized this, she's right there. Her clips are still on Twitter. They got ripped and posted by other people, but she's not at the center of this. Why?
Debate on Human Rights Day, deepening a culture of social justice and human rights.
I'm coming.
I recognize the first speaker, who is the Honorable Molatsani. The Honorable Molatsani. The honorable members. All the honorable members, take up your seats. Order! All the honorable members. Whose microphone is on? Members of the ANC, will you take up your seats? Honorable Deputy Chief Whip of the ANC, will you assist us so that we can proceed with our proceedings? Honorable Molatsani, Honorable Molatsani, Honorable Molatsani, take your seat, please. Honorable members, take up your seats. I now recognize the Honorable Molatsani.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good afternoon, honorable members. Today, we gather to commemorate Human Rights Day, a day that carries profound historical significance in our nation's journey towards justice and dignity for all. We remember March 21st, 1960, when peaceful protesters in Sharpeville stood defiant against the oppressive pass laws, only to be met with violence. Their sacrifice ignited a fire that burned through the darkness of apartheid, gifting us the freedom we cherish today. Violence. Since 1994, we have seen a revolution in women's participation in sports. Olympic champions like Penny Haynes, Caster Semenya, Chachana Schoonmaker have not only made history but shattered ceilings. Their victories are a testament to the power of inclusion. We applaud the leadership of Cricket South Africa for being the first federation in South Africa to professionalize women's cricket.
Ayo, I wanted to show you something there. I'm not sure if you're seeing it. Let's just pass that one. Let's just pass.